Hello, we are coming to you live from Comicpalooza. Celeste and I are here, and I want to tell you, the global market for cosplay costumes and wigs is a multi-billion-dollar industry. But that's just proof that cosplay is for everyone, from beginners to total pros. And that inclusivity is absolutely encouraged at the annual cosplay contest here at Comicpalooza, happening this Saturday. But that doesn't mean all throughout the convention folks aren't wandering in cosplay. It's kind of amazing. To discuss the world of cosplaying, we welcome Maeviary and Liam Norris, two award-winning cosplay professionals and judges for the cosplay contest here at Comicpalooza this year. Welcome, and good morning.
Good morning.
You. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for getting suited up to come join us here. Okay, I'm going to start off with, how many hours are you guys going to be in costume today?
You want to go first?
All day.
Same.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Wow. And
So-
how long does it actually take you to get into costume?
You can go first.
For me, depends on the suit. Usually under 30 minutes. 10 if I'm really rushing. But
You're Spider-Manning it today.
yes.
Will this
So
be you the whole weekend, or are you going to vary it up?
There will be variations of Spider-Man today. Later today, I will be a new variation on Wolverine. And tomorrow I'll be rocking the classic red and blue, and then Sunday the black suit.
Ooh. Maybe you're next. Are you going to be? Who are you today, and who are you going to be the whole weekend?
So I'm wearing this today for the interview, and also I'll be wearing this tomorrow for the cosplay contest. I'm cosplaying Russian literary icon Nikolai Gogol, if you'll believe it. He obviously looks exactly like this, from the anime Bungo Stray Dogs.
Amazing.
And throughout the weekend, I'll be cosplaying a couple of other anime and other this animation faves from Alien Stage, which is a music video series, and Wolfwood from Trigun.
So do you pick these characters, or do these characters pick you?
Are they thrust upon you?
What type of connection do you feel whenever you're deciding which costume or cosplay outfit you're going to put on?
So my very first Spider-Man costume was based on a Spider-Man that, believe it or not, operates in Houston, Texas. I'm from Houston, and so I'm connected to the city. I wanted to honor that. The skills that I got working on that costume work really well for Spider-Man costumes. Since then, I have made, give or take, 20 of them, all different variations. So it's kind of like I chose a character 6 years ago, and I'm still working to wander out from there. So
Before we get to your answer, I just want to point out what you said in your answer was made it. A lot of these can be purchased, but this is a custom-made Spider-Man suit?
it is. Yes.
Wow. That's impressive. If you can't see, please go to our YouTube channel and check these outfits out. They're pretty amazing. I cut you off before you could answer.
Oh, you're fine. I think that I really get inspired by just the look of the character. I mean, I was watching this show, and just this character just jumped out the screen at me, because I was just I have to have that on my body. I just have to look like that. I need it. And sometimes a character will just be a personal favorite, a childhood fave character, but lately it's really been about the fashion of it all, I think.
Yeah.
And how much of it is fashion?
For me, I think it really varies from person to person what everyone's goals for cosplay are, but I work in the fashion industry, so it kind of really is everything to me. I love doing my own little personal twist on the character. I'll do custom fabrics and just custom little details that I think would be a fun little zhuzhing up of the look.
I love a good zhuzh.
I love
exactly,
the word zhuzh.
right?
Yeah. I want to remind folks also, if you're listening right now and you've ever been curious about cosplay and want to ask a question, give us a call right now at 713-440-8870. I don't think you could have two better experts to answer your questions about it, and I don't mean Celeste and I. I guess I have to ask, how did it all start for you? Was it going and seeing folks in these costumes and saying, I want to do that too? Or was it, I can do this, and then you came into the world? Was it the chicken or the egg for you guys?
It was midnight movie premieres, getting dressed up with my family, not full-on cosplay, but wearing, something to celebrate this new movie we were going to go see. And that just kind of morphed over time until all of a sudden I was making my own cosplays. And I'm a COVID-era cosplayer, so I learned during the pandemic, and so I didn't actually go to a Comic-Con until 2021, after I had developed my skill set. So, the con world was totally new to me, but it came from this family tradition that I've had my whole life.
Love that.
I think that I grew up going to like Renaissance fairs and everything with my family, and always dressing up all the time. Like my family was always like dressed to the nines for these events. And then in middle school, I had a friend who had already gone to one of these events before, and this was way back in 2006. Not to date myself too hard, but she said, "Oh, you should come. Everyone dresses up. You have to dress up." And I was like, "Okay. I mean, if you have to dress up, I'll do it." And so my mom made me the costume, and I showed up, and I kind of looked around, and I said, oh, this is it, actually. Like, this is this is my spot. So it just kind of, it's been this lifelong, this love of like coming to these events and dressing up as these characters just my entire life.
Amazing. You're listening to Hello Houston, and we are live at Comicpalooza, and we're speaking with Maeve Aviary and Liam Norris, two cosplays pros that look incredible. You can catch us on YouTube. And they're also judges. So talk to us a little bit how you started going from making your own costumes to now you sit and judge other people's costumes.
You sit in judgment of others.
Yeah.
Well, the judgment's all in fun. And it's, so I started as a competitor. And as a competitor, what you're really focused on is the craftsmanship of it all. It's not making necessarily the biggest or flashiest thing, but the most complete, well-done thing. And so through competing, you get an eye for what's a good finish on sewing, foam, 3D printing. And eventually, you've been at it long enough, they invite you to judge something, and all of a sudden, you're at Comicpalooza, and
You're a judge.
exactly.
Maeviary, I've mentioned that I have emceed the cosplay contest in the past, and I'll tell you, it was eye-opening, even though you only have one eye that we can see today. It was fascinating because you're thinking initially, oh, some people threw together some costumes, and then you see what comes down the runway, and it is awe-inspiring.
Yeah. No, it's an art form, absolutely. I just like, this is my 9th or 10th competition I've judged now, and every time it just completely blows me away. Like, I've judged large and small competitions, and every single time it's just like, I just get so happy seeing people who just like care so much about making something cool and wanting to show it off that they would just like come into the judging room and like make themselves vulnerable in this way to like talk about their process and their like art.
Yeah.
And the amount of detail that goes into it. I mean, what I find most interesting is I'm sitting here looking at both of you, and you'll have props and your wigs. And I mean, how much does all of this cost? Usually.
That depends on the person, because some folks can do some really spectacular stuff with a very tight budget. This suit probably was 152, maybe 300 in materials, but then you have to put the hours in beyond that. And this, isn't one of the most detailed that I've done.
But I mean, I'm sitting here across from you, and it is very detailed.
Well, thank you
I'm
so
looking
much.
at the spider even on your chest.
Yes.
Is not just a print on a piece of material.
No, that is a rubber cast created by my friend T-Jack Effects. And so I love this level of detail, but with just simple spandex, I mean, you can look like Spidey has jumped right off the page.
Wow.
Well, with just simple spandex, some of us can't. Which brings up another point. If you are doing a Spidey character or some of these that are in simple spandex, I'm assuming being a cosplayer is more than just making your outfit. It's staying in shape, it's staying fit, it's kind of becoming the character in some way as an actor puts on a role also.
It can depend on what version you're working with. Have you two seen Across the Spider-Verse or either of the Spider-Verse movies?
Yeah.
So,
Ernie probably has. I have already confessed that I've not seen a lot of the movies.
well, they're fantastic. They're fantastic, and they are a cosplayer's dream.
Fantastic.
Yeah, they're a cosplayer's dream because they introduced Spider-Men, Spider-People of all different shapes and sizes, and so you can watch that movie, find one that you like, take that design, and then bring that to reality. And so it brings the message of the movie is anyone can wear the mask. Well, it brings that to reality. So, I put in a lot of work on the fitness side of things, but not everyone would want to do that. And that's okay. So, yeah.
And when you're judging somebody and you're looking at your costumes, you're judging them on skill and detail, but what are some of the other things that people might be surprised about?
I look for, one of the first things that I look for is fit. So if the garment, if like they made garment, suit of armor, just like whatever they're wearing, if it fits them well and if it like drapes on the body as it should, is really a big thing that I look for. I think that's like the skill in itself, is making sure that something is really like, it's made beautifully, but that it also is made for you is a really important part of it. For
Now,
me.
we were talking about the contest part of it. We've been talking about what you do to create these. But I would have to say probably the most exposure people will have with you is just walking the floor here. And that in of itself is an amazing show. But I hear there's also certain rules that you want people to abide by when they approach cosplayers. You're not fascinations just wandering among us. You're actually professionals doing your job. What should people be aware of?
Ask before taking a picture is a really big one. If a cosplayer is like doing something, like is in the middle of lunch or is like currently buying something, maybe asking if it's okay to take a picture, but being okay with them not kind of being off duty, as it were, I guess. Like asking for like a social media handle or something if they want to shout them out is always welcome. I think asking before touching anything is also a really big thing. Obviously, because a lot of these are handmade, people take a lot of care and time in them. So, like, we can be a little bit particular, I think, sometimes about touching cosplays. But I think those are the big ones that come to mind, is kind of asking before photographing and touching.
Yeah.
Liam, do you find people forget you are people, real human, and they start thinking, oh my God, it's Spider-Man, and they get all into it like they're encountering the real character?
Yes, and so that's part of the fun of it, because so many of us get so done up, you're unrecognizable either due to makeup and a wig, or in my case, masks, that you do get to embody this character. And so that comes with some weight that, you know, understand where people are coming from. You know, but also related to asking before touching, you know, before you give your favorite character a hug, ask.
Make sure.
But otherwise,
consent is important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
totally embodying the character is part of the fun of this. Getting to bring the characters alive is a really great time.
And that was something that I was curious about as we were coming to Comicpalooza. What is the difference between like a cosplayer and somebody that is simply dressed up?
I think that they're kind of, it's like a rectangle and a square situation, right? I think that...
Bring in those sides a little bit and you've made it.
Yeah. I think that cosplay is really, I mean, it's Halloween all year, really. And I think that if you want to embody a character and that it's from like media or it's even a character that you created, like you yourself want to embody a character that you like, congratulations, you're a cosplayer, you've done it.
We do have some YouTube questions for you all. One of our viewers wants to know, what are your day jobs and when you are not in character?
So I'm a paleontologist. I work at Texas Science and Natural History Museum on UT Austin campus.
At first, I wasn't sure if you were joking or serious.
No, I'm serious. I say that I'm living the 5-year-old's dream, paleontologist by day, Spider-Man by night. So,
my son would be very intrigued.
Well, if anyone wants to stop by and talk dinosaurs, by all means. So,
Yes.
So if you see a Spider-Man talking about dinosaurs, we know it's you, Liam.
yes.
Yes.
And how about you, Maeviary?
I work as a technical designer in the luxury fashion market in New York City.
Oh, so you came in for this.
I did.
And Liam, you were already here.
Basically, up the road.
Up the road, close
Yeah.
enough. There is this whole world of celebrity within the cosplayers. They're not just people get followings. People know them. It's a big excitement to see. Have you run into fans that are just, you can tell when they realize it's you that they have been following you?
Yes, and it's a two-way street because so I have friends who I've known online for a while, and there is nothing quite like getting to meet them in person, and you're equally excited to get to see each other. Now, I've also had times where folks recognize me, and it's so fun because they recognize the mask. So I can be walking around without my mask on. They have no idea who it is. And then I put on the suit and they're, oh my gosh, it's ATXSpider.
Because like clowns with their makeup, the way you design the mask also is a little hint into who you are as opposed to it just being a replication of what's in the comic book, correct?
Correct, yes.
How about for you, Maeviary?
I think that, like, yes, it's been I've been recognized a few times. And, like, it surprises me every time, honestly. Just I think I've been in this game for a long time, and I've never really like thought about the idea that like, oh, people can like notice what you do in like a wider context. So when people say like, oh my God, it's Maeviary, I'm like, me?
Yeah,
Is that me?
yeah.
Like,
Okay, in the Spider-Man world, what I notice a lot, especially in recent, there's a lot of Spideys running around
Oh, yeah.
any cons. What separates the better Spideys, do you think? And I know it's not necessarily just who can put the most money into the costume, but there's something about presentation. What would you tell people who want to be a really strong Spidey cosplayer?
Well, so one of the benefits and why you see so many spider people running around
Spider
is
people.
Well, you know, I got to cover both. Also, is there's you can buy them really easily, pre-made, ready to go, and you can slap that on straight to the con floor. Making your own is a great way to go to the next level. And then what I've got here in front of me, it's called a face shell. And what most people don't realize is in the movies...
And that's the mask he's talking
That's the
about.
mask, yes, the Spider-Man mask. Most people think that it's just a fabric mask, but it's actually a hard mask with magnetic lenses on the outside so that, you know, from actor to stunt person, it's the same, and so that it's got a consistent shape. That is a really great way to take that cosplay to the next level. It's not necessary, but it can help get a look that you're looking for.
How comfortable is that? I've seen a lot of Spideys. I've known folks that do this. It doesn't look comfortable.
It is certainly more comfortable to have the straight fabric mask. I do have friends who have more comfortable face shells than I do, but my specialty is not 3D printing and finishing, so you know, I take what I've got.
Now, Maeviary, I do have a question about you. You have won cosplay competitions. What were the outfits that you won during those awards?
my most recent one was actually here in Texas as well, last winter at Anime Frontier in Fort Worth, and that was for Muto from Princess Tutu, which is an anime from the early 2000s. It's inspired by Swan Lake, so I did a lot of goldwork embroidery to make something very beautiful. He's inspired by Prince Siegfried from the ballet, so I did this kind of swan feather collar and gold beading. So just something that I thought looked royal and elegant.
As we say goodbye, send out an encouragement to people to enjoy this way of expressing themselves.
Anyone can wear the mask. Everyone brings something special to their cosplay. Have fun, make friends, say hi.
If you want to wear something, go ahead and do it. It is yours for the taking. And every single time you go out to a cosplay event, I encourage you to make one new friend.
Well, we made 2 today.
We made 2.
We did.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Maeve Aviary and Liam Norris are 2 cosplay pros and judges for the cosplay contest happening this Saturday at Comicpalooza. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And